Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things, of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Did you have parts or anything that you had your heart set on going to today in our conversation?
I think I do need. I think there's. I'm busy avoiding it right now.
Okay.
Talking about other things. I think there are things that have come out of the family thing that I need to go and look at. I'm not sure what will come up, and it might get a bit chaotic.
Okay.
And jump around all over the place.
Okay.
But there's a lot. There's a lot happened.
Okay.
And it's still ongoing. So that's probably where I'll end up going, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
What will show up. Mm-hmm.
I also, at the end of our last call, I was committing to set an intention to try to go to the sadness part that kept coming up,
yes.
especially towards the end of conversations. So,
yes.
Just wanted to let you know that I have prepared as much as I feel like I can for that, and made some notes from our last call, and I'm happy to do that today or any other time.
Thank you. It wouldn't surprise me that wasn't a destination again, but I don't want to. I don't want to sort of jump straight there because I think
that's fine.
I just don't think that's how that part works.
That's fine.
If you know what I mean. Yeah. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I mostly want to have time for it. I think we do hear so much from that part and see a lot of connections.
But it's always at the end of the session, isn't it? Or, yeah. Well, maybe it's listening. Maybe that part is it can hear that we would both be okay if it wanted to show up and tell us something.
Yeah.
Early on. It has been quite close a couple of times. Well, in the middle of the night last night, it was quite close. Because the dynamic for me is to, my system sort of what is it? It's not a public part.
Yeah.
That's a part that requires a certain sort of set of conditions. Always there and always in the background, but being out loud requires a certain, yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Good. Sometimes I feel like the words that come out of my mouth, I just go, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you want to say more about that, or if that just comes to your attention about what those conditions might be and how we might arrange that, I'm happy to do that. Happy to hear more.
Yeah. It's certainly about safety.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, really. So I guess it feels like it needs to see a bit of a process happening in terms of a call, even though I must have seen it before. It's happened many times, but it needs to see it. It's kind of what it feels like it hangs around on the outskirts, just checking out to make sure everything's safe.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. We can proceed as usual, or whatever feels right to you.
Yeah, let's do a minute and
okay.
See what arrives.
Just 1 minute?
Yeah, I think so. We can always do more.
That's right.
If we need it.
I'll set a timer.
Thank you.
Okay, that was a minute.
Good. Always goes fast.
Yeah. And we can talk about anything you like, any parts.
Yeah.
Any trailheads.
I think there is a trailhead later on this afternoon after we finish this call. I am going to go and visit with my ex-sister-in-law, my brother's ex-partner. And she requested a meet. She just said we should meet up. Blah blah. And there was a whole lot of stuff around her being here that got all a bit awkward because my brother now he's had two new partners since her. The first one passed away not too long ago with breast cancer, and now this is now he has another new partner who's very new, only a few months, and there was just a bit of drama about old partner and new partner. The issue was, though, that his first partner had a lot to do with mum, and knew mum very well, and mum was very fond of her. So her being at the event was, seemed appropriate. But anyway, so there was yada yada about that. And I don't know why I have some anxiety about it, because she and I get on fine. Actually, I think I might know. All of us girls got on with her fine. I've no doubt that she has been having chats with them as well. And I'm kind of anxious that she might sort of say, so what is all this going on between you and your sisters, kind of thing. And and I'm dreading that she will, my fear is that she will try and play peacemaker, you know, and try and present their case to me and try and hear my side of the story so that she can present my case to them. And I just don't want her to do that. And I might be totally making that up. She might not do this at all. And so I've got quite a few parts sort of ranging around going, do we need to think this through and prepare for this and have a response ready? Or do we need to stop thinking and overthinking this and just, you know, have a pleasant visit? Then another part saying, do we need to set some time frame around this so that we're not there for hours and hours? And I don't know. Yeah, there's just
okay.
a lot of parts up around this visit with her this afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else, or are there any of those that feel like they'd like more attention from you?
There's this very weird part, not weird, I don't mean that, but I mean unusual part, which is quite worried that because we do know each other quite well, and because of the kind of person she is, there is a part of me that is quite worried that I will say things to her that I will, you know, like, what am I trying to say? She is very good at, perhaps she's got access to a bit of self, but she is very good at, the words that this part is using is she's very good at wheedling information out of people. She's very good at finding out some of your most inner stuff, and you walk away going, fuck, why did I tell her that? You know? And I don't think it's entirely self on her part because it doesn't feel it doesn't always feel okay afterwards, you know, like usually when you're feeling safe with someone and there's, you know, and you tell them something that you hold quite close to your heart or whatever. And so it can be a relief. But with her, I often come away feeling, fuck, I didn't mean to say that. How did she get that out of me? And I don't know what that's about. I'm not sure what that's about, but that's quite a strong part at the moment. I think it's a part that feels like I won't, in some weird way, I won't be in full control of myself, which is very odd. But that's the part that is quite strong right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a concern that around this person, you might not have so much control. You'll overshare. You'll be vulnerable in a way that you might regret later.
Yeah. Yeah. Overshare. That's the perfect word for it. Yeah.
And also that she might have an agenda around your relationship with your sisters that she wants to get involved in.
Yeah. It's not a bad agenda. She's not coming from a bad place. You know, and it's not manipulative or anything like that. But it just might not be welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Curious about that.
Curious about which? Tell me. Ask me
What would make it manipulative? Like if it's not. Like how would you know? How would you know that? Yeah.
Yeah. What would make it manipulative would be that there would be some motive that was being hidden. There'd be an ostensible thing of, I want you to get on with your sisters. That's the upfront thing. What would make it manipulative was that there was some unstated thing. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see why parts would be anxious about that meeting.
And the thing that's odd is that I don't have any. Oh, do I? I was going to say I don't have any experience of her being manipulative in that way. But
you do have experience walking away saying, "Oh fuck, why did I say that?" Yeah. So regardless of her intentions, you're walking away with parts saying that we shared too much with the wrong person here.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not the 100% wrong person, but the 50% wrong. Like, it's not the end of the world, but it's, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's all a bit wishy-washy and unclear. But I definitely have had that sense with her before of going, oh my God. And I know other people have this sense with her as well, because Mum has told me, she says, I've told her things that I have never told anyone else in the family. And I'm going, oh my God. Like, how does she manage it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
and I don't want to feel badly toward. I want us to have a good. Part of me has actually been having a little talk to myself about saying, how can you make sure that you're in self, when you go visit her?
Great question.
Yeah. Because what that's more likely to do is to be curious about her instead of her being curious about me.
Okay.
That might be a bit manipulative too. But anyway, yeah, so that's oh dear Lord. Anyway.
It's all welcome. It's all welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So I would like to just have a nice meeting and find out a bit about, where she's at and what's up in her life, and tell her in, 30 seconds what's up in mine, because there's not a lot. And go on our way. Probably talk about our kids is probably what would be best.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about which of these parts needs your attention, which of these parts it's a great question. Like what does self do in this situation? But also, like we talked about in our last call, how much should you plan and prepare? How much is that just being a part?
Yes,
if it's
totally
designing every outcome.
Yes, exactly. I do a lot of that, I do an awful lot of that. And I recognize it as some kind of protective part, trying to shield me from, what is it trying to shield me from? It's trying to shield me from having to make decisions in the moment. You know, it's shielding me from having to assess the situation and make choices based on that assessment, because it knows that many times when I'm in social situations, I'm not always in a space where I can make good assessments. I'm not in most social situations. I am not in self. Like I wasn't. I don't think I was ever really in self during the whole, this whole weekend meeting with people.
Yeah.
And I was, the parts that were there were the parts that have learned to cope with it and do it quite well. And but they are not good at making judgment calls in the middle of it. Of saying, should I answer this question? Should I? Should I? I don't even know what the judgments are about. But do people make judgments like that in social situations, or do they just be and don't bother about it?
Do they make judgments about
how
everything?
They should respond? Yeah, everything. How they should respond. What's going on? What is required? What is acceptable? What is
if they're not doing it consciously, they're doing it subconsciously, right? I mean, we're constantly scanning and judging and responding.
Yeah, we must be, That must be part of, yeah. So I think there's a part of me that's worried that I don't do that very well.
And we know that one of the ways of doing that not very well is the oversharing, we're calling it.
Yep.
Is there more that this part is worried about? Does it have other kind of
not worried about? But so there's several tactics that get used. Oversharing is one, but not with most people. This particular person seems to trigger that. The other things are always make them laugh. Say something. So that's always when you don't know what the fuck's going on or what to say, make them laugh. And you can always do that by getting them to laugh at you. Like you say something silly or foolish or deliberately self-deprecating or oh my God, I'm such a fool. So I don't. But so there's all these tactics, and most of them are fine. Nobody gets hurt, no damage is done. But with this one particular person, the overshare, or not just her, but with certain people, the oversharing is the issue. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to learn more about the oversharing part?
Yeah, if I can, why is it reluctant? It's very reluctant.
Doesn't have to share anything with me.
I don't. Yeah. So what's happening? Okay. So there is a part that overshares, and there is the part that is worried about the part that overshares.
Right.
And the part that is worried about the part that overshares doesn't want us to talk to the oversharing part, because its job is to shut the oversharing part down.
Right. Which makes
Does
total
that make
sense to me.
Yeah. So,
And it does that. One way it does that is by planning the conversations.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
and also not giving it any status, and by us talking to it, we'll kind of give it some status and some importance, like if we start trying to talk to the part that actually does the oversharing, the other one that says don't overshare is going to come charging in and say, it's a ridiculous part. It needs to be shut down, not talked to. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds to me like that part is pretty important if it needs to be shut down. But
yeah. It needs to be controlled, needs to be managed, needs to be...
Yeah. And, I'm trying to be really careful about I don't want to encourage oversharing.
No.
I'd love to hear from the part that we're calling that. But in general, in conversations, it's not my goal to get parts to share stuff that they're not comfortable with. So
yeah,
I just wanted to clarify about that.
Yeah. So the oversharing part is comfortable in the moment when it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's only later, and I don't even know, maybe it's a different part again. It's only later that goes, oh, fuck. So I don't know how many parts we've got here, really.
Well, at least two. At least the one that overshares and the one that wishes it didn't.
It wishes it didn't. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I am actually, yes, I am curious as to why the oversharing part does that. Like, it's really easy to blame someone else and say, well, it's just because she's so good at wheedling things out of people. Like that's...
Yeah.
But,
But like, why is that? Why is she good? What is the key and how does it work in this lock?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I am interested in that because it doesn't make... I don't know. I have no idea why. Why does that even happen?
Yeah. So when you're saying that and you're talking about your curiosity, does this one who wishes the oversharing never happened, does it respond to that at all and see how that might be a great thing for you and your system to learn more about this part?
That the part that doesn't want the oversharing is saying, this is nuts. What are you, the usual story. You can't possibly learn anything useful. It's really dumb, Even if you do learn something, you won't understand it because you're too stupid.
How hard and for how long has this part worked to try to manage the oversharing part?
Fuck, a long time.
Yeah.
This is the teenage stuff. This is the teenage stuff. Not as a kid. Was it happening when I was a kid? Maybe a little bit, actually. Yeah. Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
There's a big flashing signs just going, be careful what you say, be careful what you say.
Yeah, I think that's a good sign to notice.
Yeah.
It is important.
And the other thing that's coming up is be careful what you say because you don't know what's okay to say. Like this is this reading the room, reading the cues thing. Say, be careful what you say because you've got no judgment about this. You always fuck it up.
Mm. Yeah. And sometimes that's the oversharing part that does that fucking up, according to this other one.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I really get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the shutting down the oversharing part is also the part that has figured out how to turn that oversharing into a self-deprecating joke about myself, when there's a sudden realization that that was a really dumb thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's quite a dynamic between the two.
Okay. So there's a lot of energy that this part's putting into this whole dynamic.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's what I have been doing all weekend. It's this all the skills that the shut down the oversharing part has developed over the years. All those skills have been in full play all weekend and working really well. I didn't upset anybody. I didn't piss anybody off. I didn't, and I came away feeling good about myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it crashed as well a bit later on. So
because it took so much energy.
Yes, probably. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fucking. That's the thing I realized at some point in all the thinking through all this. Anybody from the outside would have looked in at what was happening and saying, "Oh, look, she's enjoying herself." I was not enjoying. I was not enjoying myself.
Right. Right. The humor is for other people, not because you're feeling real lighthearted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I did. I was a little bit. I have even got a few more skills now because IFS has taught me how to be a bit curious about other people. So I found myself being quite good at asking people about themselves, which meant that, phew,
the ultimate deflector.
Yes. And I've gotten, and I'm a bit better at that. So, and I realize I have never, well, what it made me realize is that I need to define what enjoy means. Because it certainly from the outside looked like I was enjoying myself. I was having a wine and chatting and laughing and smiling. And is that what enjoy means? When I have to come home and be on my own and collapse for the next.
Right. So the goal of this managing part is to get you to look like you're enjoying yourself.
Right. And then confuse even myself because even to myself, I looked like I was enjoying myself.
Yeah.
And yet,
so why am I out of energy? Why am I crashing? Why do I want to avoid these events?
Yeah.
Why do I have so much anxiety? Why do I have so much anxiety about meeting this nice person?
Oh, yes. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on. And just to let you know, sadness is lurking really, really close.
Okay. I've been taking notes. I took detailed notes from our last call about when sadness was lurking. Sadness is welcome. I'm curious about it, and I'm happy to keep taking notes and want to learn more about it. So I appreciate you calling attention to that.
Yeah. What did your notes say about when it's lurking?
Well, I listed 4 kind of moments that it sounded like to me that the sadness got stronger in our last call.
Yeah.
And I wrote those down. So
yeah, that'd be good to hear.
Okay.
If you're happy to.
I am happy to. I also want to my intention when I thought about how I would work with you and work with your system and these sad parts is to slow things down.
Yes.
So I know we were just with we were thinking about the oversharing part, and we were hearing from the part that wants to shut it down, and we were making connections between how you feel when that shutdown part does a great job according to it.
Yeah.
And so I just want to circle
Yes,
that and
yes. It's kind of a pattern, isn't it? That there's all these different parts, and then sadness comes rushing in, and then everything gets washed away. And
right. Yeah. So I'm just making notes of those parts, and I want those parts that were there before to know that I'm still interested in them, and I see how they might be getting washed away by sadness, and I just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
I feel a bit the words that always come to me like this, they always seem too big for the occasion, but I'll just say them because it's what's coming. So the word that's coming is I feel a bit immobilized right now. Which seems highly dramatic and over the top.
Well, you feel a bit immobilized, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So I don't know which way to turn, and I don't know what to look at.
Yeah, and I also wasn't really aiding in that. I was saying slow down, so it would make sense to feel immobilized.
Yes, yeah. And I really appreciate the slowdown because I know that I can get so speedy and all over the place, and I know that slowing down is good. But I think there might be a difference between slowing down and immobilizing. Maybe that's
yes, could be.
Maybe I don't know how to slow down. Maybe my only my slow down technique is just to go freeze.
Does the immobilizing and the freeze feel like the sadness part, or is that different?
They're different. Yeah.
Okay.
Immobilize and freeze prevents everything, including sadness. It just goes, stop everything. Just stop everything.
Okay. So we have sadness in one corner. We have immobilize and freeze in another, and that one's feeling maybe strongest. And then we have the parts that we were talking to before.
Immobilize and freeze is front and center right now. It's holding the stage.
Okay. I'd love to get to know that part.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, immobilize and freeze just says, just stop. If you just stop, you won't screw anything up. If you just stop.
Okay. So it's concerned about you screwing up here?
Yep.
Okay. It cares about the work, cares about the process, cares about our relationship.
Yes. Cares about the podcast, cares about it all. Yeah.
Me too. So it's welcome. Does it want to say more about his concerns, or?
It's just having a battle with sadness at the minute.
Okay.
Who's going to be front and center?
I just want you and all these parts to know that we don't actually have to make we don't have to decide to meet with either of them.
Yeah.
They're important.
Yeah.
They're strong.
Yeah.
And I think they do deserve our time. But if they're right on top of each other and stepping on each other's toes, then
Yeah, they really are.
It just makes it hard to make that decision about where to go and who to listen to. So you just let them know that you felt them both, you see them both.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's helped. They've stopped eyeballing each other. They sort of turned a little bit more towards me.
Yeah. I'm going to go at a pace that feels right.
Yeah.
And it's because they're so important. It's because they deserve your time. It's not,
right.
It's not to shut them up.
It's not to, push them away.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is talking about a ticket system.
Brilliant.
You know, like when you go to the doctor and you pick a number and you wait for it to come up and then you...
Yeah. Okay. I got some paper here. How many tickets do we need?
I think there just needs to be an endless supply.
Great.
But because there's just rows and rows and rows of them coming in the door. But let me see. So sadness and shut up, freeze, don't talk anymore. Are both okay to take a ticket, and they're a bit antsy about it, but
they're antsy
about taking a ticket and just clearing some space, moving out of being front and centre. They're a little bit antsy about moving away, but they are.
Just remind them it's for your own clarity.
Yes.
It's for your own ability to be curious and compassionate towards them.
And yes, and it's also about not having the system completely wiped out all the time and need 5 hours of recovery.
Yeah.
I get that. They'd rather not. Even sadness, which does the wiping out, sort of washing everything away, even it gets that.
There's those after effects that are.
Yes. 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 You come up, the wave comes up the beach and wipes everything out, and it still means that later on we've got to come back and put all the deck chairs back out again and put up the umbrellas and
Okay.
So they've moved back a little bit. There is some space. They've each got a ticket.
Okay. I've got a total of 5 in front of me now.
5. Okay. Tell me the 5.
All right.
Sorry, that sounded like an order. I didn't mean that.
Oh, please, no. All right. Immobilize and freeze. It's got his ticket. Sadness. Yep. And these tickets, these are good for life tickets. So they're laminated.
Yes.
Yeah, once you have a ticket, it's official.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
There are the other parts. I'm gonna for now, I've got them on one ticket, the ones about the oversharing and the not oversharing and the being comedic.
Yeah.
And then I have these two kind of joker cards here, tickets. One is called None of the Above. And the other is whatever else is up for you right now.
They're all looking at me and say, with that sort of quizzical,
Mm-hmm.
who are you going to pick? Who are you going to pick? And now I've got a scared bit who is scared they're going to pick wrong.
Okay. It's welcome. I want that scared part to know that I really strongly don't believe that you can pick wrong. And I don't want to dismiss how it feels.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited, and I admire that we're in this place at all. That we're there are tickets.
Yes.
Compared to not having an option to pick, this is a huge step. So
yes, it is.
And
yes.
you can give it a ticket if it would like to.
Yes, I was. That was more or less happening.
Mm-hmm.
What did you call that part again?
Well, I believe you'd called it a scared part, scared about picking.
Yes, of course I did. Yes, sorry. Whoa, that was weird. What happened then?
It's okay.
The scared part. Yes, scared part. It's scared part. It's okay. We can. Yeah. You all belong to me. You all belong here.
That's right.
You're all part of me. So even if you take a ticket, the ticket it's not banishment. It's just a cue.
Yeah. And it's recognition.
Yeah.
And it's a delineation.
Yes. And it's putting some I was going to say order. I don't mean that in a sort of an overpowering way, but we're dealing with a bit of chaos here, and or potential chaos, and chaos is exhausting. So if we can find a way to, Okay, so scared has got a ticket. Hasn't entirely moved away yet. What is it unsure of?
It's where you would pick wrong.
It was scared I would pick wrong. And it's scared that I won't. It's scared that it's placed in the queue, that it might need to jump a place if I start waking up again.
Mm-hmm.
That feels okay to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and just a reminder that I still that you have the joker cards of not picking or of picking something different. So
Right. Yeah.
That would, if that's the case, then it would really be hard to pick wrong.
Yeah. Yes. So scared part is it's gotten out of my face. It hasn't moved terribly far away, but it is sitting next to me rather than being, in front of me waving its arms around. And it's agreeing to sit quiet, just not too far away.
Okay.
And I'm back to being curious about the oversharing part. Why do you overshare? What's the oversharing part about? Yes, that's where I want to go.
Okay. And are the others going to permit you to do that? Or will they?
Yeah. Scared part is sitting next to me. Sadness and immobilize are over there on the side. There was another one somewhere, wasn't there? Who's the other one?
Well, there's the one that doesn't want the oversharer.
Oh, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that was the primary one that was telling us not to go to it. So
Yeah. And basically it was saying it's pointless, it's stupid. The whole point is to stop that part talking, not encourage it to talk. Its whole job is to stop oversharing from sharing.
Right.
And here we are going to it and saying, please share with us. And the part that doesn't want to is saying, that's insane. You're insane. It's,
right.
You're Alice through the looking glass here.
Yeah.
However, it's also saying, go on then, you'll find out. The only way to learn is to do it. So it's pissed off, but it's not.
Okay, just a reminder that our goal is to learn about the oversharing part, not to overshare.
Right.
So I imagine, like, when you're having this anxiety about meeting your ex-sister-in-law, the concern isn't that she's going to ask you about your oversharing part.
No. Oh, this is like an Escher picture. Yes. No, of course she's not. No.
No.
She's going to trigger the oversharing part.
Right.
Well, no, that I mean, it seems a bit silly, but yeah.
She's going to draw it out, and it's going to do what it does, which is likely protective.
Yeah, go blue, and then
right.
I'm gonna walk away going, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So why does the oversharing part do that? Because it's not, like I can't say she makes it happen. That's just.
Yeah. How do you feel towards the oversharing part?
How do I feel towards the oversharing part? Okay, give me a sec here. I'm definitely curious about why it does it.
Okay.
That curiosity is tinged with a little bit of kind of the kind of energy that says explain yourself, so there's a little bit of accusation or something in there. Like, it's not just total calm curiosity, there's a little bit of now's your time, make it make sense.
Okay.
You're on the witness stand.
Okay, let's ask space from that part.
All right. Of course. We're not in a courtroom. Yeah, that's better. There was a hint of I'm curious because I want to understand. Yeah, not because you have to explain yourself. Yeah. Yeah, that feels a bit better. Yeah, it feels a bit better about it too.
Okay.
So, help me understand. Oversharing.
Tell me about yourself oversharing.
Yeah. Ooh. Sorry, sadness is back. Shut.
Hey, okay. Hey, sadness.
Hello.
Okay. I'm still taking notes to learn about what draws the sadness. I'm very curious.
Yeah, so just before the sadness came again, golly. Just before that came up, the oversharing part was giving me the picture of a dam with a build-up of water, of pressure behind the dam.
Mm-hmm.
And with that picture, that's a sadness came, and that's
Okay.
That's as far as things went.
Okay. Thank you to the sadness part for letting us know that this was something important about this.
Yeah, this matters. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yes, it likes that.
And thank you to the sadness part. Although it kind of jumped the line there, it didn't overwhelm you. It made itself known, and it looks
sure
like
did.
but it was also ready to step back when we
Yeah,
acknowledged it.
it's just kind of, it's checking that it needs to know something. Yes. Yeah, I'm telling it, I'm still here. I'm still with James. It's all under control. um, yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. If there's a bit of space again. Wow, this is going to be a slow process, isn't it? Good Lord.
That's not what I was feeling at all.
Oh, really?
No.
Just felt like every time some singular word or image comes up, sadness is going to come charging in, and we're going to have to reassure it. And
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm kind of getting that feeling like slow is fast here. When
good
it's been
point.
a fast process is when we both walk away and say, "Well, something happened."
Yeah. Total. Well, wipe out. Yeah. Very true. Fast is slow is fast. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I think if we keep acknowledging that sadness when it comes up and
Yes.
learning each time, okay, here's why, or here's something that it's about, that'll help us keep fleshing it out and letting it know that we are serious about it. And look how it's already responding to having that acknowledgement.
It's nodding its head, actually.
Yeah.
Going, yeah. I quite like it when you realize I'm there for a fucking reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so I'm back with this dam.
If that feels right.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So the overshare part is saying there's a dam, there's a build-up of pressure, there's something needs release. I'm not really understanding it, but that's what it's giving me.
Okay. Yeah. It wants to accomplish something by releasing the pressure.
Yeah. It's releasing the pressure putting down the weight, taking off the heavy jacket, all those kinds of, lighten the load. I don't know really what any of it means. But
Okay.
lots of that sort of imagery, lots of that sort of...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's something to do with not just putting down the load or releasing the pressure. It's something to do... It's something to do with sharing the load. Oversharing, sharing the... Like, there's some connection there that I can't quite figure out. But, yeah. Sharing the weight. Halving the pressure, not taking it all away, but spreading it around.
And can it tell us more about the weight, what that feels like, where it comes from, what it's about?
Only in metaphorical ways. It's not telling me what it's that I'm feeling it on my shoulders. It's like a heavy coat. It's giving me lots of imagery.
Yeah, how often is it there, that weight?
All the time. All the time. It's part of what everybody carries around. There's some sort of resistance.
Did it feel like did it feel like we were doing the you have to explain yourself kind of approach? Or
a little bit. But also, what is it? There's this thing that quite often happens with my parts where I'm trying to get this, I'm trying to understand something, and the response that I get back quite often is, "You fucking know. I don't have to tell you. You fucking know." And it's the way of them not telling me anything more. Because I don't know.
So you have this kind of like resentment about you fucking know, you ought to know kind of feeling, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And is that because they feel like they've been dealing with this stuff forever? I mean, these parts have been doing what they've been doing for a really long time.
The reason that they're there, they're saying the reason that you put us here because you knew. That's why we do this. You know why I'm here. You put us here. Something along those lines.
Okay.
I was the solution to your problem. You had a problem, which you knew about, and so you did this.
Okay.
That's a bit weird. Is that making sense?
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay. Oh, God. I never know.
Yeah. You had a problem.
They're kind of saying, we're not responsible for this. You are. Somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know.
You had a problem that you are aware of. And these parts had to respond.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And now you're coming and asking me what your problem was? Get a grip.
Yeah. And it sounds like they're also thinking that you are the one that is responsible.
Yes.
Like the
What
problem, like the problem was created by you, and or the parts doing what parts do was your decision.
I think so. Say that again.
Okay. Well, I just thought I heard the part saying like, "Well, you put us here."
Yes.
You know, like assigning that responsibility to you.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so what that kind of implies to me, what I'm hearing from that is that you might be the one who created the problem, first of all, and or you're the one who decided to have parts respond in the way that parts respond.
Yes, both of those things.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's telling me that I'm responsible for the problem happening and I'm responsible for creating the solution.
Okay.
So who the hell is this I?
Yeah. Right. And it makes sense that they are looking for someone to attribute this to.
Yes. Yes. Every cause has a cause.
But all your causes are caused by you, according to them.
Yes.
Yeah. So just invite them to notice you. This is the you that likes listening to parts.
So am I are they a bit mistaken about which me they're talking to is here?
I believe so.
Do you think?
I believe so. Or
So
I believe they are mistaken, or they are at least not. They are not aware of their own kind of where they came from, how they got there, and how systems work and how parts work, and that would be totally normal because parts aren't great at understanding parts work. Self is great at that.
They don't have a sort of bird's eye view thing, do they? They just know their own little thread.
Right.
Right. Everything's a bit
Self
swirly.
doesn't order parts around and make them go do stuff. And I would also venture to say that self isn't the one causing a bunch of problems.
Yeah.
You know, like you may have problems in your life, but I would be surprised that many of them are attributed to your warmth and curiosity.
This is quite shocking, you know.
It is.
They're a bit shocked.
Yeah.
They don't. And when I say they, there's quite a few parts that are going, huh? What?
Yeah. And it is sad if they've been trying to send a message for decades and sometimes it kind of lands and a lot of times it doesn't land and they're not being heard. It would make sense for them to have a lot of resentment or anger about that. About why are you coming to us now when
their
we've been
resentment is about lack of choice. They don't have a choice. That this is what they were ordered to do by somebody or other. I don't know who the fuck it is, but
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they're right. I think that they didn't have a choice. They didn't feel like they
Yeah.
had a choice, which
No.
is right.
Yeah. And not only did they not have a choice to do this, here comes this bumbling fool saying, "Explain yourself to me." I mean, from
Right,
their
right.
that's
Yeah,
how
and
it appears
that,
to them. Yeah.
and that would be us doing bad parts work. Is if we just went around and said, "Tell me, you explain yourself to me. Explain yourself to me. All of you better be in the right place, or you're in trouble."
Yeah. You
Right.
better have a bloody good explanation because,
Yeah. But I bet they have heard that message from other parts in you and other parts in people in the world.
Oh, they've heard the message that they need to explain themselves,
Yeah,
that they need to justify themselves.
of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, crikey. There's just quite a lot going on.
Yeah.
They've had to justify themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Huh. The other day, I went back and looked to see when I first contacted you.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up for a year. And there's another very judgy part saying, "You've been doing this for a fucking year."
Oh, I was just gonna say happy anniversary. I'm honored. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
And congratulations. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of courage.
And a lot of time, apparently.
A lot of time. And you know, it can be stressful. It can be confusing. It can be one more thing that we're putting energy into, and we don't know where it's
Yeah.
taking us, and we feel like we're gonna screw it up. And I'm with you on
Yeah.
that.
Are we at a place? Can you? Oh Lord, I think I need a bit of a. I don't know what you call it. A synopsis. Like, where am I exactly? I
Great.
need all.
I'd love to.
Would you? Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure.
Phew.
Okay. Thanks all parts for sharing what they shared.
Yeah. Just give me a sec. I really need to do that properly. I can't see you all clearly. It's all a bit of a jumble pattern, but you all belong here. You're all part of me, and thank you all for being here. And as I slog through this process, no. Just thank you.
Nice.
So I can't see them all clearly. I've kind of lost the definition, but I can look around and just see if that is if everybody's, whoever you are, is getting that. I think there might be outing to the park on the horizon.
Okay.
I think they have heard, and they think that it might be time for a little playtime.
Great.
So thank you. Still pretty jumbled, but but the energy is fairly relaxed all around.
Great.
I'm wondering if I need the summary now or not. Maybe we just need a trip to the park. I think we do. I think that's all we need right now.
Okay.
Just a bit of chill out time with nothing, important attached to anything. You can, whatever you want to go and play on.
That's right.
They
were complaining about someone put us here and someone made us explain ourselves, and you're saying, okay, well, I'm not going to do that to you.
No.
Want to go to the park?
I'm just gonna. Yeah, totally. And I'm gonna sit on the bench and just watch you and make sure nobody, falls off the swing or whatever. Oh my God, they've gone crazy. They're running.
Great.
Running to the park.
They can keep their tickets, or I can keep them for them, and we can revisit any and all in the future.
Yeah, I think there's some duplicates. I think they've got them sort of velcroed on somewhere so they don't fall off. And you've got copies.
That's right.
I'm just sitting on the frickin' bench. Yeah. Kind of beaming a little bit.
Okay. Nice work.
So the only unleft thing. Maybe it wasn't all as finished as I thought. Sorry. I've still got this visit this afternoon. Okay, there's some. What is happening? Got this visit.
You could ask the oversharing one what it needs from you.
Yes. The oversharing one is sitting with me again on the park bench. It just needs me to. It's feeling a lot better. Because it knows I can see it. That's the main thing. I don't know. We're kind of working out a thing that says, I'm going to keep you close by. I'm going to be aware of you. I'm going to I'm going to be paying attention somehow or other. Like, that I don't even know what the words are, but we've kind of got an understanding between us, which I can't quite describe, but
some awareness and some trust.
Yes.
Yep. Some communication,
yes. And some something to do with something to do with time, with taking a breath, with not what is it? The difference between something to do with not being so reactive. The difference between taking a moment, not just reacting. That's what's making it feel best. Me saying, I understand we need to not react, but to just take a breath, take a moment. Remember that you're there. Yeah. I don't think we can do any more than that. How can you do any more than that? You can't. Because you can't predict the future, All you can do is have an agreement about how you will be together in whatever the future is.
Right. Which also that agreement might not necessarily be very explicit. It's more of just an intimacy and a trust.
Totally. It's really vague and unpinnable down. Which is why I'm struggling to find words for it. But I can feel it.
Right. Yeah, it's really hard to put in words. It's an internal family, and when a family's working, and when a family is working really well, people will have each other's back, and they're listening for each other, and everybody matters.
And I think the other thing we're sort of acknowledging is that it might not be perfect. This might not mean that everything's going to be lollipops and daisies. It just means that it's not going to be as scary as it was. I can't guarantee. I'm not guaranteeing anything here. I'm just saying I'm going to do more of this than I was before.
Yep.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Wow. Huh. It's kind of shimmery. It feels a bit insubstantial at the minute.
I get it. It's hard to put in words, but
yeah. I don't know what this thing is. It's not substantial at the moment. I can't. Nothing is guaranteed, but it's.
But there's a connection with self and parts.
Yeah, it's different than what it was. That's all I can say, is it's different than what it was. And that's, to be quite frank, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Something that's different than what it was. That's...
Yeah. If they've been stuck in these roles and without anybody listening to them, then yeah. Difference better.
Yeah. I'm going to. How long have we been talking, James?
More than an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I do have. I got a date. So.
A date?
Something like that. We'll be making s'mores tonight. Yeah.
James.
So.
That's so cool.
Yes, I'll tell you how it goes after.
Yeah. I've got jiggy jig parts going.
Okay. Thank you again for doing everything you're doing, and high five. I think we did great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. I'll be in touch.
Okay, my friend. See you
talk
later.
soon.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The two main sort of lingering things are this sinus stuff, which I don't like, but it'll go away. But the other thing is just very low energy. Just oh my goodness,
Yeah.
doing anything feels like just thinking about doing things feels like too much energy. So
Okay. We can take it easy today.
yeah, I think it's I feel very flat altogether, very very flat, and
Okay.
and I think that's one of sort of a little constellation of things that's happened recently. My arm still doesn't work properly. I've had the plaster off and it's still sore and it's still a bit swollen and it hasn't healed in the right
Damn.
position. It's a bit weird, and I
Are you still
haven't been able
taking
to.
those painkillers?
When I need to, not as much as I was,
Yeah.
but getting to sleep sometimes I need to. And it's not because the pain is awful, but just because it
It's just
distracts me enough.
nagging. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the main things is I haven't been able to crochet for weeks and weeks and weeks. And
that sucks.
that's really I really hate that. That's really bad. I can do it, but only for a little while, and then things start hurting. And also, sort of the whole, well, not the whole, but a big part of the crochet thing for me is what would you call it? It's sort of the flow thing, the mindless thing. Like I can just put something in my hands and my hands will do their thing,
Yeah.
And I can't do that. I have to think about every movement. I have to change the movements. It's tiring. It hurts. So it kind of takes away a big part of the benefit that I get from crocheting.
Yeah.
And that's a real bummer. I'm real down about that.
Sounds like it. Sorry.
So that's okay. Just a whole bunch of things all sort of coming together. But I do want to say, I just listened to the podcast, the latest one with you and Christine, and I just, I just want to. I think you've reached another new high. I just thought that was a really, really important episode, that one, and I think
so too. And I said as much to her, and we had a nice conversation about whether or not to publish.
yeah. Well, bravo to both of you for doing it, because I mean, I think it was really courageous of her.
I think so.
But I also think that you've created the space where she could do that. So I think it's a sort of a joint effort between the two of you. I just was punching the air a little bit and going, yes,
Yay.
yes.
Yeah.
It's a deeply not spoken about enough thing, the whole attraction and sexuality and all those things, I think, are so they function at a cellular level as far as us
it's
being.
like it's an undercurrent in so much of what we do and think, and yet
we all squeamy away from it. Yeah, totally. And it's undercurrent is sort of a gentle term for it. It's kind of like a combined tsunami and earthquake and tidal wave underneath there.
Right.
And yeah, so I applaud you both. I think that was refreshing. Well, it was so refreshing.
Yeah,
I
thought so too.
Yeah, so well done. Good on you. What else did I want to say? Oh, I might get it. There's been some. Excuse me. There's been I've been thinking about things. Who, me? I think. Sorry, that sounded weird. I just meant that, I do tend to sort of wind myself up into lots of thinking knots. But maybe that'll. I have no idea where we go today, really. Like I say, I'm a bit out of touch with.
Okay.
So
we don't have to go anywhere. If you're not feeling the energy, then
yeah,
that's fine.
That did cross my mind. There was a part of me saying, "Is this going to be a worthwhile episode? Is this even worth bothering with?" But
I don't think of them as episodes. I think of them as conversations.
Yes.
So, is there anything worthwhile that we can do for you and your parts?
Yeah,
from where we are.
I don't know. Sitting here at this moment, it doesn't feel like it, but I also know that you never know.
Okay. Well, I don't have a preference or opinion about it. If we decide there aren't parts to meet, then I'll consider that a gift and I get to make dinner early. And if we decide there are, then I will consider that a gift because I love working with you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Would a minute or two of meditation help? Just listen in and see if anything comes up?
Yeah, I think a minute would be good to start with and just see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. I will set a timer. Okay.
Oh, gosh. It always goes so quick. Hmm. So, excuse me. I can't say I felt anything that's sort of very sort of visceral or very what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that rather than a feeling, I was aware of an idea and a thought. But I guess that's as valid as anything else. Don't feel very in touch with that thought emotionally, but it's been around a little bit over the last few days. And it's once again about my relationship with IFS, which seems to be a recurring theme. And there's a part of me wishes that I could just sort of go there, 100% and not think about it, but that's not what happens. So I'm not, excuse me just a minute.
It's okay.
Oh, dear. Oh, sorry, a little frog in my throat.
It's all right.
So I don't have this right now, but over the last over the course of the last week or so, there has been this kind of parade and chorus of critical, judgy parts, and they've been very loud and presenting lots of pretty solid evidence, in terms of stuff about my behaviour and things I've done that were not okay. And and I'm not in touch with that now, but I remember that it was there.
Yeah.
And everything seems to have sort of been tamped down to, all the dials have been turned down. But there was a whole thing there at one point about, along with the critic and the criticisms and the judgments, was the part that was saying to me, and you're going to use IFS to justify all of that and get yourself off the hook. You do this IFS stuff, takes all the bad stuff and makes it look sweet and lovely, and it's your get out of jail free card, and it's very, really nice to be able to not be held accountable for anything. And that was a pretty loud voice, and there was another part of me that was kind of going, in a very quiet little whisper way, I don't think that's how the model works.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. But that got drowned out by the voice saying, very convenient, very convenient, this IFS stuff. and like I say, I'm not really in touch with any of that emotionally right now.
Okay.
I just remember, I remember that happening, and I remember thinking
Yeah.
that. So I'm not sure what I want to do with that.
Okay. Noted.
Or if you've got any response to it that sort of...
Yeah, I mean, it's something I would also be interested in investigating, but if that part's not feeling really up, and if everybody's muted, that's okay. I mean, I also have assumptions, and I have rebuttals, and I have all kinds of other parts and thoughts and ideas, but I don't know that I would speak for them now.
There's a bit of a there's a bit of a thing going on. Oh gosh, I lost it. It disappeared. Where did it go? What was it? Oh,
I can repeat what I said if you think that will jog your memory.
yeah. Try that.
Okay. I said that if it's not up for you, then I've noted it, and we don't have to go there. And also that I could speak for all kinds of parts that have rebuttals and points and thoughts about that. But
yes, that was it. It was an intellectual part coming up and going. We could have a completely disembodied sort of
yeah, we can talk theory.
intellectual. Yeah. And there's another part saying, you can do that anytime, sort of thing. No, it's not quite saying that. It's saying that's your safe place to go. That's where you go and you theorize about things and you think about things and
Interesting.
that's your because
the last part was saying that doing IFS is your way of getting out of responsibility, right? Of getting off the hook. And then this part is saying that not doing it is a way of doing that. Maybe they're different. One's about accountability and one's about...
Yes. Yes. And I think one is about that it feels a bit of a dichotomy or a pull between the intellectualizing of things, which is a way of not feeling things. And the other one is you go into your feelings completely and get told that they're all lovely and sweet and with good intentions. And so that's how you get let off the hook.
Yeah, I see the difference.
So there's this kind of thing that says intellectually, this is what we're doing. And then the opposite of that is and the intellectual part is saying that going in there and talking about how you feel and being in a space where they can be where those feelings can be heard and acknowledged and witnessed and all those things. That's the self-indulgent, letting yourself off the hook process.
Okay.
And the intellectual part is saying, yeah, but I can explain how it isn't that. Or I can understand how it's not that, but it's still just an intellectual idea. There's some kind of, I'm not quite understanding it clearly, but there's some kind of tension between the two.
Yeah. Yep. Arguing with that part that feels like the IFS is a way to abdicate responsibility is not going to work.
Yeah, it's a lovely theory, and it's very clever, and all of that stuff. But it's still just somebody, thinking something.
Yeah.
And it feels a bit there's this kind of either or feeling to it. Either you or either I abdicate that critical thinking, intellectual part, and just go feel all the stuff, just feel all the stuff, or the opposite, which is abdicate all the feeling stuff and just think all the stuff. It feels like it feels like it has to be a choice between those, not a sort of a working together.
Yeah.
And because all the dials have been turned down on all the feeling stuff, the thinking part has just got all the room in the world to play.
Right.
And there is another part of me that gets a bit fed up with it, actually. Like it feels good, and it feels, stimulating and challenging and interesting, but it's I don't know where does it get you? It just gets you feeling clever, or not clever, but it gets you feeling like I thought it all through. And
well, it's interesting. One of the first things you said in this conversation was that you were having these thoughts about your relationship with IFS.
Yes.
And I was thinking about that, compared to like your relationship with your parts. And IFS is a theory, a model, a thing that you can type into YouTube.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well caught. Yes, totally.
And I agree that there are those two very different modes of thinking about and feeling. And I think that, yeah, you have the thinking part you said is taking up the room, and that would make sense if the feelings are a little more subdued. I think that self energy is probably a lot more feeling than thinking.
Yeah. I think self energy responds to the feeling. Yeah, it doesn't. It has no problem with the thinking part, but it doesn't have a lot of response to it. If that's
Yeah, I think self's own characteristics aren't very thinky.
yes, totally. Hmm.
I also was hearing in the way that you were speaking for this part that this criticizing and it's saying you're going to be let off the hook and not accountable. It sounds to me like that part is either experiencing or protecting from experiencing or something that is more of a feeling.
Say that again. That part is
experiencing or noticing the experience of something that I imagine is more of a feeling than a thought.
yes,
Like it's saying, hey, somebody in here feels guilty, I imagine, or should
yes,
feel guilty, and
yes,
it wants to highlight that, which sounds more like feeling domain.
yeah. So yes, there's definitely, it's pointing at the bits that should be feeling guilty, you know.
Right.
It's wagging its finger. That you should be feeling. That was the bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You knew it was bad when you did it. You did it anyway. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Do you
So I'm a bit
remember
confused.
do you remember at all about the end of our last call? And I just listened to it, so I'm happy to fill you in because I have a part that wants to connect the dot here.
Go for it. Yeah.
What had come up when we were speaking with a bunch of parts and they were all standing around with their tickets waiting to go first?
Oh yes.
And you were asking a part, why it's feeling the way it does. And there was kind of a rejection or a rebellion from the parts saying, well, you know why I feel this way. You put us here. And it was this strong movement around looking for who's responsible, who set us up here. You did it. You're to blame. And it seemed like that was kind of the chorus from the parts.
Yeah. And alongside that, why are you asking these dumb questions? Because you know.
Right, because you're the one who put us here. You put the parts here. You caused the problems out in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just sounds a lot like what this part is saying. It's like, well, you're guilty and you should feel bad. And there's definitely some finger pointing. And I think that, I think we can find out like who is the finger being pointed at and what is self's role in the system and where do these parts come from or any parts come from? What is your responsibility? And
yes,
same domain.
I think you're right. And I'm beginning to feel some
is it sadness?
No. No, I think she's down the track a bit.
All right.
No, well, I'm sure she's there. No, this is a little bit of like, oh God, a little bit of trepidation and but it is a feeling. We don't have to
go there. I just wanted to see if that connected.
I don't know if I want to go there either, but I do want to acknowledge that
Yeah.
there is a lot of finger pointing.
Right. Right.
Yeah, a lot.
Right. Which is kind of what, I mean, parts are always doing that. It's just kind of figuring out to whom and why and what self can do about it.
Yeah. And
Which is not quite the same as let me get off the hook because I'm so wonderful. And all my parts are so wonderful. It's a very different investigation into what's going on here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's parts fighting with that, saying, yeah. That's how it starts, but it always ends up, that part, there's some real tangling around all of that.
Yeah. If we're coming from curiosity, then
yes.
If there's accountability and blame, like, well, we want to learn more about that. So it could be an act of the ultimate act of accountability is getting to know all the parts inside me so that I can be more responsible for them.
Well said. Yes. And the intellectual part was going, well, that was a very nice turn of phrase. Yeah.
Pretty clever, huh? Yes.
Rolling and going, oh my God.
Yes. That was in chapter 8.
It's going, I know, I highlighted it because I knew it would come up. I think just before I lose it, what was that just whisked by? I think the issue here is self. I think there could be a never-ending battle between the finger pointers and I don't even know who they're battling, but there's some sort of back and forth there that is a parts thing that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
And self is not there really, and until it is, I think there's just going to be this ping-ponging backwards and forwards between parts.
I think that's
what I've just got. And the odd thing about that feeling is that, about 5 things all arrived at once. The odd thing about that feeling is that nearly all the parts are agreeing with that. Mm-hmm. Some of them a little bit reluctantly, but they're all kind of going, yeah. A bit of self would be bloody helpful.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of not enthusiastic, some kind of quite reluctantly, but there is some acknowledgement that might help. What else just came in? I don't know. but that was the main one, I think. So I think, yeah, I think there's a kind of a willingness to let self have a bit more space, but I'm not sure to do what.
To understand.
To understand, yeah. I think more than that, because understanding is getting a bit back into that. I think it's to do. Go ahead.
Were you going to say the understanding feels intellectual?
A little bit, yeah.
I guess I'm thinking like to know something is to love something. They're kind of one and the same in a lot of ways. And
yes.
and yeah, to really know the parts and really know their stories and
the feeling in the words that I'm getting is it's not about understanding it, it's about holding it all. It's about not leaving anything out. It's about encompassing it and holding it and that's kind of the energy. Like the understanding might come later. The first thing that has to happen is that. And I think I've been here before. I think I think what I've discovered in the past is that this part of the process, where nothing much is actually happening, but that there is this holding kind of feeling, that really needs to happen for as long as it needs to happen. Like I can't skip that part. If I skip that part, I end up back in a tit for tat thing somehow. So this holding thing, this it's very odd because I can't quite describe it.
Is it like creating a space where all parts are welcome?
Yes. But it's not just sort of saying, it's more.
We talked a while ago about the difference between welcome like a welcome mat and welcome like you belong here.
Yeah. Yes. It's that space is the words aren't there, but it's it's very it's kind of very, it's not a frivolous thing, you know. It's not like throwing open the door and saying, come on in, everyone. That's not what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, it's much more sort of dense and solid and
Familial?
familial.
Mm-hmm.
So it's certainly to do with safety, a lot to do with safety,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot to do with whatever the opposite of superficial is, whatever the opposite of quick and easy is, whatever the opposite of,
Yeah.
bright and breezy, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really
Real.
serious. It's real and it's serious and
It's real.
yeah, and it's imbued with meaning in a way that is
Mm-hmm.
not just frivolous and like, this isn't party time. We're not having a party. This isn't
Right.
balloons and confetti,
Mm-hmm.
which all disappear. It's more
Mm-hmm.
substantial. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's more substantial. It's more lasting. It's more meaningful. It's you don't take it for granted. You don't mess around with it. It requires respect, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just keep seeing the word family in my mind. Look, I don't speak to my family of origin, but I know that there is such a thing as strong families that have everything that you just named.
Yeah.
A place for everyone. Something
Yeah.
that's quite serious, even though there's plenty of space for play and joy and all the other nice things.
Yeah. Yes, I see what. Yes. Yeah, because a lot of where I am right now has flowed directly out of a quite intense family event.
Right. Right.
Which
Yes.
Which had some fallout and some, which is where a lot of the critics and the judgment came. Like, it's all tangled up together. So
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. I'm struggling with the word family. I'm trying to think of something else because I get completely what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits with what I'm trying to describe. But I just can't use family at the minute.
Yeah.
What is it? It's more like a and this will just be a weird thing that won't last,
Mm-hmm.
but just for the minute, it's more like a clan.
Yes.
Or a tribe, or
mm-hmm.
So in New Zealand, the native people of New Zealand, the Māori, have a word which is tūrangawaewae, which a literal translation means a place to stand.
Mm-hmm.
And every Māori person has a tūrangawaewae, a place where they can go, a literal physical place, a piece of land somewhere, where they can go, and regardless of who they are, what they've done, where they've been, that is their place to stand. That is their tūrangawaewae. And and it lives in them as well as being a place to go.
Mhm.
And there's no human rules or anything that could ever tell them they can't stand there.
Mhm.
This is not that I believe in God, but this is their God-given right.
Yes. Mhm.
And that's more what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Is creating a tūrangawaewae for all my parts.
And does that provoke the one that demands accountability? Is it saying that that's also a problem?
Does it do what? Does it provoke it?
Yeah. Is it like, how does it feel about that idea?
It feels fine. Yeah, because it knows it knows that its right to be there is just as great as all the others.
Mhm.
Yeah, every part has a tūrangawaewae, and
Mhm.
And self doesn't create that. Self kind of is it, if you know what I mean. It doesn't create the place to stand. It is the place to stand. This is where you come. It is an encompassing thing that is never it is never overcrowded.
Right.
Like
Right.
there's always room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I'm sure you do. And I'm not sure there's something about there's something about I was going to say the creation of that place. It's not about its creation. There is something about the solidifying of that place that is really important. Like, when you go back to your place and you're standing, not only are you welcome, but you. This is in the Māori culture. Not only are you welcome, and no one can tell you to leave. You also have the right to speak at any time that you need to or want to, and you will be listened to.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you'll be agreed with.
Right.
Doesn't mean you won't be told if you fuck up, but you get to speak. And
yes, yeah. So self creates and preserves that.
Yes, and that's an absolute. Like, there's no movement of that. That can't be adjusted or tweaked or refined or cut down a little bit. That's it.
Or given up or lost by a part.
Oh, no. And oh no, that came from something. And lots of times it takes first of all finding your place. that's done, finding your place is done through familial connections. So you can, you can recite your genealogy, if you like. It's your genealogy that takes you back to where you belong. That's what gives you the right. Your genealogy gives you the right to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And just doing that can take a long time to find out that. And then after that, getting to the point where you feel like there's something that you've got to say, that can take a long time. Like sometimes you just hang out there.
Right.
And mostly in the kitchen doing the dishes and peeling the spuds,
Mm-hmm.
But you get to hang out there, and sometimes it takes a long time to get to talk. And I think that's what I have realized in my system, is that I don't like rushing in and asking the questions.
Right.
When I say
feels
I don't,
pushy. Feels like it's
yeah,
pushy, or it's too much of the intellectual understanding.
both, yeah, and a little bit disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Like just be here, just belong here. That's the first step. It's
Yeah.
probably screwing up all the efficiency of IFS, but
Yeah.
slow and fast and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm taking all this as feedback for my own, process. I want to share in the responsibility for that.
And I'm sure too that for different, that process won't be the same for all systems or even for all parts within the system. Like
Mm-hmm.
some parts will say, yay, here I am, I'm home. Hey, listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be absolutely fine. But it's just not assuming that it will be that way for every part.
Yep.
So making sure that all the different kinds of spaces that are required are available. And sometimes just taking some time to do that. And also to make sure I've got this really I've got this really clear image of being really, really careful about the edges and the outskirts of this space, because I think there are parts that it's really easy to, they're the exiles, aren't they? Ha. That it's really, really easy around the edges not to recognize that that there's parts out there that need to be brought in and welcomed, that they're right on the edge and not. And you've got all the noisy, chattering ones in the middle who are.
Right.
And really easy to forget those ones that are hanging around on the edges and
right.
not quite sure if they're in the right place or not. And
Right.
self is really aware that you've got to take the time on the edges.
Yep.
Because if you don't, the space is not, it's not right yet. It's not complete yet.
Yep.
It's very nice going this slowly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what you just described, yeah, it's a place for exiles. It's a place for the ones that have the judgment or the guilt or demanding accountability.
Yes.
This, I mean, the way you're describing it doesn't sound like very intellectualizing to me.
No.
You know,
No,
it
it's
sounds
not.
true. And
the way,
it's a place where all the parts are listened to. And you said that they find their way there through
yeah,
familial connections.
yes,
Right.
yes, of course they do. Yes. They've only got something to say
Mm-hmm.
because of the ones who are listening.
Mm.
You know, if they were in somebody else's place, well, what they'd say would just be gibberish. You know what I mean? It wouldn't. What they've got to say only matters and makes sense, and because they're in this place with all the other people who belong here. If they were in a place where they didn't belong, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Sort of like talking a different language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other parts we can't count on the other parts to understand them.
No. Can we? No. No.
I mean, you know, we can try. We can highlight the connections between the parts and make them more aware of them, so
Yes.
that you can say, "Hey, you got a roommate over here, and you keep stepping on their toes." But for them to, the parts don't have that quality of self of listening to provide that space for each other.
No, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite a complex thing, actually, because there's some sort of baseline understanding that that the topics and the subjects and the issues and are held in common by everybody there. That's kind of there's some sort of connecting thing in that way, but then above that, you know, the reaction to or the approach to or the response to that issue is going to look like black and white. But there's some kind of which is what this place to stand is about. You know, that's what it means. It means that yeah, it's a bit nebulous. Like you're talking about that issue over there, but you're talking about it in a way that is crazy. I'm talking about the same issue, but I'm talking about it in a sensible, you know, way. But the recognition that there's something in common there that's part of the fundamental fabric of the place somehow. Not sure if any of this is making sense. But it feels safe. That's what it feels mostly.
Mm-hmm.
And I can feel the impatience of the finger pointing parts. And I can feel the I can feel little bits of shame and guilt and stuff all floating around. But as long as I maintain as long as I maintain this sense of safety, things are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I've just created a marae in my head.
Yeah. Can I
The
share
marae
another little bit of
is
wordplay with you?
Yeah, go for it.
When you were talking about, what does self do? And the first thing I said was understanding.
Yes.
And you said, you were saying, well, you're thinking more like holding. And then you mentioned a place to stand.
Yes.
Like a place to stand, understanding.
Very good. Understand, overstand, beside stand.
Mm-hmm. Stand wherever you like.
All the places to stand. Yes,
Yeah.
stand wherever you like. Just make yourself comfortable. Find your own standing place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And now that I have no idea what's going to happen next, really. But it doesn't worry me, really. And now that this place has been created, that feeling of having all the dials turned down and everything tamped down, that feeling is gone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that all the dials have been turned up to 100 and everybody's, this is not a dance party we're having here.
Mm-hmm.
But it does mean that people don't feel that people have got choices and that whatever their choices will be fine. And if their choice is to sit quietly and not be turned up to 100, then that's cool because that's what they choose. And other people who, a choice has been created, and the choices and that has made people feel safe because it means they can choose rather than being forced to dampen down or forced not to talk or to put their hand over their mouth or to. They can choose how they want to be and know that it could change and that as time goes on, they might say, I've got something I need to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels very safe.
Lovely. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. I really like it. It's nice.
Okay. Well, I think we've done it again. Written the next chapter.
Yes, I think so too. I'm not quite ready to finish. What needs? But
Yeah, what needs to happen next? Who needs
Yeah.
who needs what next?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't want lights out quite yet. You know, when you go to a marae and all the people gather all together on the marae, you're in the meeting house and you're all sitting around, and that's where you have your meeting and where everyone gets to talk and get it. But it's also where you sleep. So once everyone's done with their talking, all the mattresses are pulled out, and it's terrible because the snoring and
Sure.
but you're all still contained there, you know, even when you're sleeping. And I'm not quite ready for the mattresses to come out and the lights to go off yet. That's okay. I think I haven't quite had the experience of waking up yet in this place and looking around and going, oh, thank goodness everyone's still here. And they're all still okay. There's a little bit of, can I trust that to happen sort of thing.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where the practice comes in of how do I keep recreating this and keep offering it.
Yeah. I think there has to be a sort of a either it'll happen or it won't. The only one way to find out. Yeah. So I think we can keep this place. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can. So
yeah, sounds nice.
It's really nice. Slow is fast, eh? Slow is fast.
Yeah, not being pushy with our questions, and not even asking questions. Sometimes just listening.
Yeah, just listening. And even when there's no sound, being available to listen. Yeah. Thank you. It's been I'm a little bit excited about this.
Me too. Thanks for sharing it all with me.
Thank you. Yeah, we're all good. And you can go off and make your dinner.
Okay. Thanks again.
Thanks, James.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
I hope.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.